Hello, I'm Dean Lewis, and you're watching Hollywire.
What is up, Hollywire? Gabby Conti here with Dean Lewis. Dean, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks for having me back.
Great to have you back. So, want to play a quick game with you. We're gonna do finish that phrase, okay? First question. My worst date was when?
Oh, God. My worst date was, oh no, it was this. It was a girl asked me how much money I made. She said, she said to me, she said, so with music, like, how do you, I know you have a song that's doing well, but like, do you like make a lot of money from that? And I was just like, it was just the weirdest vibe. And I was like, but she was, to be honest, respect, she was just like straight up, wanted to know.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny, but that was probably the weirdest one. It was just not the vibe.
The lyric that you are the most proud of is?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, there's a lyric in my new song, How Do I Say Goodbye, where I say, I saw the way she looked into your eyes, and I promise if you go, I will make sure she's alright. And what I'm talking about, that lyric is me and my mum and my dad, we did a road trip from LA to Monterey, and I saw the way that my mum was looking at my dad when we would like drive past, like, because Monterey has all these little beaches, and they'd stayed out like a lot of these places over the years. And instead of just being my parents, you know, they were like, you know, they drive past like a beach and mum would say, oh, if we stayed there, hun, and they just felt very, it was like they were kids again. And I think I wrote that lyric for that, but it's just probably the most meaningful for me.
I love that. The worst lyric you've ever written?
Oh, so many. I don't release so many songs.
Right, but like a song that you,
Yeah, I do. I write so many songs that are so bad. I just try not to release them. One of the first songs I ever wrote was, I wish that one day I could see the people across the ocean.
Oh.
I was gonna say I was gonna say it's one of my worst, but you like.
Well, no, because you manifested it.
That's
in
true.
a way you did, right?
But I feel like anyone can manifest getting on a plane. That's true. You know? I don't feel that like genius.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was probably like 12.
Okay, that's good for a 12-year-old
Yeah,
though, right?
It's good. Yeah.
If you said yesterday, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Glad you
Exactly.
released that one.
Exactly.
So you were on tour. You after the pandemic, you were in Europe, right?
Yeah.
And then now you did a little bit here in
American,
the States.
yes, yeah.
And then what's next for the tour and the music? Like, what's the next thing that's happening?
Yeah. So the album comes out this Friday, the 4th, and then we're announcing a big tour. Like, we're doing more European dates. Doing Canada. I think we're organizing an American one. Going back to Australia, New Zealand. It's just like a big world tour. So it's all just getting crazy for next year.
And so what can fans expect with this new album? I know probably a lot of them you have singles out already, but are there any like surprises that fans, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just like, for this album, I zoned in on the first album and I was like, you know, there's probably 3 songs that have stayed really popular or that meant a lot to people, and those 3 were the ones that kind of I felt the best about. So I sort of looked back and went, zoomed more into that style and tried to create my own sound by going more into the best of what the first one was. Because I think in my first album, it was so fast. Every song was blowing up. Be Alright was blowing up, Waves was blowing up, and it was like I didn't really have any time, and so some of the album was me just trying to figure it out as I was on the road, and so I had a lot more time to figure out what I wanted to say and what I wanted to be and sound like and stuff. So yeah, I kind of went, if you like my first one, the best of my first one, I think you'll like this one.
So you were basically working on this album while you were performing, kind of seeing what songs were hitting. Like when you were working on your set list, were you kind of also figuring out the order of the tracks in the album?
Yeah, I guess the last 2 years I've been working on this, 2.5 years probably, and yeah, I think you're always writing. There are ideas always. Like there's so many ideas that it's just my life. It's all I do is think of songs, and there's all these songs that are always just intertwined. And the idea is I was just finding the best ones and trying to make them come to life.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dean, and make sure you check out Dean's new album, The Hardest Love.